Well, folks, it's September the 10th, 1988, day 2 for the 1988 edition of the World 100, the granddaddy of all late model dirt class events here at Eldora Speedway down in Rossburg, Ohio. You can see the activity in the pits now as it's starting to come alive. In just a short time, they'll be having a driver's meeting, and then we'll be doing some hot lap sessions and move right into our qualifying heat races events. We had a good night of qualifying last night, race fans, and when the final checkered flag fell, the quick time went to Donnie Moran at 16.674. Second quick was Jack Boggs in his B4X car, 16.772, and Boggs went on to get third quick in his backup car, B4, at 16.781. So Jack Boggs is hot no matter which route he decides to go tonight. We're going to be showing you 6 qualifying heat races made up of 20 cars each, and the top 3 cars from these heat races will advance to tonight's World's 100, again paying $21,000 to win. And then we'll be seeing the 3 cars that finish in 4th, 5th, and 6th position in these qualifying heats advance into a last chance B-main for one more opportunity to make the start of this year's big race. We're going down to the pits now. We'll talk to some of the drivers on hand to compete in this year's event, some of the past winners, and possibly even today's winner, as the Race Review brings you the 1988 World 100. Just talking to Black Jack Boggs out of Kentucky. What city was it in Kentucky you're from, Jack?
Webbville.
Webbville, Kentucky. 2 cars in the top 3 on fast qualifying here last night. Did a great job with your B4 car and your backup B4X. Any particular strategy about today's race as far as how you're going to work yourself through the heat races?
Well, I don't know exactly. You don't know how the heat's going to come out. To me, it's 20 cars, a 15-lap feature event. It's about what it amounts to. Everybody's going to be rushing to the front as quick as possible, and they only take 3, which I know it's probably good for the fans, but you're going to see a lot of stuff tore up. A lot of good cars is going to be tore up, and I think you're going to see some cars in the feature that probably not the fastest cars here because of the inversion. But anyway, I'm just going to do the best I can and go with whatever break that I can go with and try to get to the front the best I can.
Well, Jack, all eyes will be on you tonight. As you, how many World 100s has this been for you? How many have the race been?
I guess it's been 6, and I didn't make one, and probably I've sat on the pole a couple times, and then like I had fast time for a while last night, and it's the 2nd, 3rd fast time. So
I'd like to win this one.
Yeah,
it's your turn, right?
I've won several big events, and I've never won this race. And
we'll be watching Black Jack Boggs in action here tonight at Eldora Speedway during the 18th running of this big event. 120 cars in the pits today, and they're going to be running 6 qualifying feature events. The top 3 cars moving into the World's 100, the next 4 going into the last chance B-main. A lot of good drivers out of Kentucky, including Charlie Swartz, the 1980 World's 100 winner. We had a chance to talk to Charlie about this year's effort. Charlie Swartz. Charlie has been a driver for at least at Eldora here for the last 7 years. What about this year? I know you've been close a couple of times, got some bad breaks.
Yeah, we played 3 or 4 of them, and it looked like we were going to do some good, and then something happened to drop out, you know.
So keeping them together is better than coordinates running fast, right?
That's probably most of it.
Well, what about this year here at the World 100? Is there anything different in your strategy? You're starting 6th in a heat race. If you work yourself up into the win on that race, you'll be on the outside front row. They say the best race you did, don't they?
They can put me on the inside front row.
Oh, that's right, inside front row.
But no, I'm not planning on doing anything different than I ever have. I just run the same. I'll run as hard as I can. You know, in the heat, if I can get there, okay. If I don't, I'll have to do what else. And, you know, no matter where I start the paper, I'll run as hard as I can.
Well, he's been running a long time. Charlie Swartz, previous winner. He'd like to make a number 2 here tonight for the 1988 World 100.
Already in the heat.
Since 1980, you're due for another one, aren't you?
I need to do something. I ain't doing no good racing. Maybe put me in the movies.
Jerry Baltes conducting the drivers' meeting. There's a look at the former 1982 winner, Mike Duvall.
out of Gaffney, Georgia. And a lot of interested drivers there paying attention to Terry, listening to the rules. One of them being that if they're caught doing anything illegal, cheating against the ump rules, they not only will be barred from this race, but they will not be able to race for 2 years here at the World's 100. There's Earl Baltes, the man that created all this. We had a chance to talk to Earl about this year's race.
Well, you told me last night, you walked up there and saw all those lawn chairs, and you said, Jerry, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it became this. Has it got out of hand, Earl? Is it too big?
I said I didn't believe it last night. Don't believe it today. You know, it's getting almost too big. The crowd is out almost. It's outgrew our place here. We're going to have to stretch it out a little bit. We're working on it. We'll change a lot of things next year. The pit entrance will be changed. And the hill off to the number 1 and 2.
Outlaw Hill over there.
We're going to try to complete that this next year.
You're going to be able to park motorhomes all the way around the Big E. Huh?
Yeah, I hope so. I understand that a lot of the girls that's got married now and they're in the family way, so we got to get ready for the next generation.
And next year, as it's been doing all these years, the World will increase again another $1,000, $22,000 to win.
That's correct.
How high can you go on that? Will your grandkids take it over and keep it going forever?
Oh, yes, I think so. And if they don't, I'm looking forward to you helping.
What a sight. The World's 100 Eldora Speedway. They say it is a happening.
They say the Beatles.
They say that it's a happening. And there's the faithful water truck that dumps the water on this track. The guy that usually drives, that's Jim Rindley. We even got a word with Jim Rindley.
100 does this make for you? You been to all of them?
Every one of them.
Every one of them.
Every one of them.
You amazed about the way they changed the cars? The
Oh, the haulers is something else. One time you get 200 in. Now you can't get 200 in. I think they ought to put a limit on the size of the haulers for next year.
Well, how do you like late models against sprint cars versus?
One's as good. I like them both. One's as good as the other. I like it real well. Don't make any difference. They're both good.
And this is one of your favorite races of the year, then?
Oh, yeah.
You got to work pretty hard, though, right?
Yeah, but you got to look at it this way. The season's about over when this comes around. So you got to get a little enjoyment to look forward to laying around then.
Well, there he is, Jim Rindley. He's been here for 18 years or longer with Earl
24.
Baltes. 24 years.
Only one guy can make an interest like this. That's Jack Hewitt up there, the helicopter being flown in by J.W. Hunt. He won the Hoosier 100 today in the Champ Dirt Cars USAC event, and he's flying over here to run tonight. Jack Hewitt, what an entrance.
Yeah, I heard the burritos out in California could fly higher than the birds.
And when Jack comes in, he really stirs up the dust. He makes an appearance.
Like nothing I'd ever heard. And the eagles flew in from the west coast. Like the birds, they were trying to be free.
Jack will be driving the 63 car, and that car is owned by J.W. Hunt, as he stirs up a cloud of dust and sets it down over there on the backstretch. Jack Hewitt out of Troy, Ohio. One of the favorite sons here at Eldora Speedway. We've talked about him many times before. He can drive sprint cars, midgets, late models, wherever it has wheels and a steering wheel. Jack Hewitt can drive it. And today he'll be driving in the World's 100. He qualified the second round last night. He then flew back over to the Hoosier 100 that he went on to win. They get greeted by Earl Baltes at the trackside there. Jack getting suited up, getting ready to go. And there goes the bird taking off. And we're about to take off with 6 qualifying 15-lap 20-car heat races and the 1988 World's 100. Here's a panoramic view of Eldora Speedway and the spectacular once-in-a-lifetime crowd. I should say once every year crowd here at the World's 100. We got the best seat in the house in the video boom van, and we're going to cover the action for you race fans here today. Quite a crowd, a lot of race fans, a lot of race cars, and a lot of action about to take place here at Eldora Speedway. And of course, at all sporting events in the United States, the first thing that happens is the Star Spangled Banner, and that'll happen here today at Eldora Speedway.
Down on the center stage, the American flag flying there in the center of the stage, surrounded by the flags of the various states that are represented here in this edition of the World's 100. We had drivers from 18 different states trying to make the 18th annual World's 100. Illinois, Maryland, Kentucky, Indiana, Minnesota, Ohio, Missouri, Iowa, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, West Virginia, Arkansas, Florida, Michigan, South Carolina, and Mississippi are the states represented by the various drivers. On the pole in the first heat of the 1988 World's 100. On the outside of him, in car number 44, last year's winner, Randy Boggs. The second row on the inside, in car number 66, is Wade Knowles.
On the outside of the second row, it's the 18 car Scott Bloomquist. Then we have 1C, CJ Rayburn. 99 is Donnie Moran. 11 is Kevin Gundecker. The 75X car is Ray Gus Jr. Then we have the B12 car of Kevin Weaver. The 28C car is Kevin Claycomb. The 5 car is Rodney Combs. The K1 car is Ray Godsey. Then we have the 99S car is Charlie Sitman. The 4S car is Don Seaburn. The 15 car is Steve Peltz. The 48 car is Hagebach. And then we have the 02 car is Steve Dean. The 1B car is George Bradley. The 3 car is Jim Ruddick. And the 25 car is Andy Ginsman. It was pointed out to us that Rodney Combs is not driving the 5 car today. Rodney be racing in a NASCAR race, and he did miss today's racing action. That's a 15-lap event for the World's 100. The top 3 cars will be advancing to the World's 100. The next 4 cars will advance to a B main. And the balance of the field, if they don't have alternate backup cars, will be watching. We turn it back over now to Terry Baltes, your track announcer.
For the playing of our national anthem.
The roar of the engines. Let's recap that starting lineup. Charlie sitting on the pole. Randy Boggs, last year's winner, driving the 44 car outside front row. Then we have 66 Wade Knowles, the 18 car of Scott Bloomquist. Carl C.J. Rayburn, the 1C car. Donnie Moran, number 99. Kevin Gundecker, number 11. 75 is Ray Goss Jr. Then we have the 12 car of Kevin Weaver. 28 Kevin Claycomb. Rodney Combs is not in the lineup. Then we have K1 Ray Godsey. A lot of top drivers will be competing for these 3 spots to be filled here for the first qualifying feature heat race at Eldora Speedway. Yes, it is a heat race, but we like to think of it as a feature when you get this kind of competition and 20 cars racing for 15 laps like Jack Boggs said earlier, it's a real chore just to make this race. And there's a look at that starting field as they're scuffing their tires up, warming that rubber up to stick to the track. And Earl Baltes has got the track in excellent condition tonight. It's smooth and fast for some great racing action. The first of 6 qualifying heat race feature events here at Eldora for the 1988 World's 100. And what a beautiful sight looking at all those colorful cars. A lot of top late model drivers and cars are in this race. The defending 1987 winner is in this first heat race, Randy Boggs, driving that car number 44. Randy is the only former winner, but there's several racing here today.
Chris Patterson in car number 27 was scheduled to run this first heat. They were told in the drivers' meeting last night that the first heat would be lining up at 6 p.m. sharp. Patterson just now arrived at the Speedway. The owner is already out on the track, so Patterson has missed his opportunity.
Chris Patterson not in this race. Alternate was Tudor Hagebaugh in the 48 car. Tudor starting in 20th position on the rear of this field. We said earlier there was 120 cars in the pits. Actually, that's not correct. There's 120 cars will be competing. Several other cars are in the pits as backups and alternates.
Hewitt would have had the same problem. If Hewitt was scheduled for the first heat, he would have had to been here, lined up and ready to go at 6 p.m. He lucked out and drew in a later heat. Rule applies across the board no matter who you are.
They have not run this track in since the last time that Earl put water on it. They're just going around now hacking some of that water down. The track does not look slippery. They're going to be laying a lot of rubber on it, though, and here's the chalk line.
The right line being striped now in turn number 4.
This will be the starting point.
The starting point of the race. When the lead cars come up to the right line, if the lineup is correct, the green flag will go at that point and we begin racing. The pace car is off the track now. The line has been striped. Watch for a start in our first heat. Simpson in 32. Boggs in 44. The pace setters. They bring them around to number 3 turn. Lots of hot dogs. We got one in front. Yellow flag. Yellow flag. Complete restart, double foul, with the exception of the car causing the yellow will drop back to the tail.
Having a great deal of trouble getting this first heat race underway tonight. Randy Boggs, last year's winner, started right up towards the front of the race, but now he'll be restarting on the tail. As will Don Seaborn, as Seaborn gets that flat left rear tire or left front tire fixed. Now Gundecker has pulled in, and it's very difficult to work yourself through these pits now as they have the next heat race lined up on the apron ready to pull out. And it's going to be very difficult for Gundecker to get through this crowd of cars to get back down to his pits and then out the track.
Outside of him now, the 66 car of Wade Knowles. Knowles gets that outside front row spot now.
The lineup back in order. They're coming down one more time to that white line.
Approach the white line once again.
There's the green flag, and the heat race is again underway. Wade Knowles moves into the lead in the 66 car. Cars are bumping down the backstretch. Very close racing here at Eldora Speedway. Scott Bloomquist on the move in that 18 car into second position. Young 24-year-old Bloomquist, this is his first time ever at Eldora Speedway, driving a Masterbuilt chassis. It looks like it's handling well here at Eldora Speedway. Then we have Donnie Moran, the 99 car, who has fallen into the third spot now down the straightaway. Keep in mind, the top 3 drivers will qualify for the start in tonight's big feature event, and that pays a minimum of $1,000 just to start. Wade Knowles out in front, Scott Bloomquist running in second position in that 18 car. Then we have Donnie Moran running third in his own number 99. There's a car slowing in turn 2 at the top of the track. Several cars are also, there's Gundecker spinning out and tags the wall on the inside of the second turn. That again will bring out the yellow flag and another restart in this first heat race. There's a car stopped back in turn 2. There's so many people in the pits, it's difficult for the flagman to see, and they have to use hand signals to get the attention. The 75 car smoking very badly. That's Ray Gus Jr. blowing a lot of blue smoke back towards the competitors behind him. On the restart, it'll be Wade Knowles in the 66 car out in front. Scott Bloomquist running in second, and Donnie Moran running in third spot. As Ray Gus continues to lay out the smoke. Dan Animal Miller on the flags here at Eldora Speedway. He's looking over the situation with the 75 car. It looks like they're going to let him stay out there. Getting the cars back in their proper alignment.
Your leader will be the 66 car. That is Wade Knowles. Running second in the race in car number 18 is Scott Bloomquist. Running third in the race in car number 99, the fastest qualifier of them all, Donnie Moran.
C.J. Rayburn is in fourth position. There's the green flag. The restart back underway. Wade Knowles being chased by Bloomquist, and Rayburn and Moran running wheel to wheel down the straightaway. Donnie Moran, the fast qualifier, does have another option. If he does not qualify through a heat race or the B main, he can move into the starting field. The top 2 qualifiers that do not make the feature through their heat races or the last chance race will start in 19th and 20th position in this year's World's 100. As Wade Knowles continues to set a blistering pace, being pressed by Bloomquist, and C.J. Rayburn has now moved up into third. Donnie Moran running in fourth position. And now Moran has tagged the wall in turn 2. He's slowing down, and Donnie Moran, the fast qualifier, is out of the first heat race. Donnie's trying to limp around and into the pits to get out of the way of the competition.
Donnie Moran in the 99 car and tangled with the wall over in turn number 2. He moves back in the pit area.
Donnie will be coming back out in another heat race in one of his backup cars.
Moran in 99 was the fastest qualifier last night, having problems as he tagged the wall over in turn number 2. He's in the pits now, the right rear tire flat on the car. Perhaps some additional damage to it.
Again, the lineup is getting back in the proper order. Wade Knowles, Scott Bloomquist, C.J. Rayburn now in that transferring spot, running third. Picking up their speed down the backstretch. Ray Gotze, the K1 cars, in fourth position. We got a car spinning. That's Steve Peltz and Kevin Weaver come together. There's the green flag. The race again back underway. Very difficult as a driver to keep your momentum when you continually get yellow flags. You get a pace and a tempo set, and then all of a sudden it's start over again. Moving up very quick to the front is that 44 car driven by Randy Boggs. Remember, Randy had to start back on the back, and pelts the wall. Steve Peltz blasts the wall down the straightaway, and again that's going to bring out the yellow flag as he stopped in turn number 1. We were saying that Randy Boggs, who had to restart at the rear of the field right at the beginning of this race, has now worked himself up into contention, presently running in 5th position. One more restart. Wade Knowles, the 66 car, out in front. Scott Bloomquist running second. C.J. Rayburn third, followed by Ray Godsey. And now Randy Boggs is up into 4th position. A great job of driving by Randy Boggs as he's charged hard towards the front. And these yellow flags have definitely helped him make that effort today. Just a few laps remain in this first 15-lap heat race as Wade Knowles is out in front, stretching out his lead now over the young 24-year-old Scott Bloomquist, who, as we said earlier, is making his debut at Eldora Speedway. There's the white flag. 1 lap to go for Knowles. Bloomquist running second, Rayburn third, Godsey is 4th, and Randy Boggs is in 5th position. Coming down for the checkered flag and the first heat race victory in the 1988 World's 100. It's Wade Knowles in the 66 car. Wade's out of Tyrone, Georgia. Finishing second was Bloomquist out of Tennessee. C.J. Rayburn was third in the 1C car. Those 3 into the feature. Then we have Ray Godsey, Randy Boggs, and Steve Dem, followed by Potter, Wright, Bradley, Peltz, Ruddick, Moran, Sitman, and Gus.
Coming in second in car number 18 was Scott Bloomquist. Coming in third in the C1 car was C.J. Rayburn. Those 3 now advance into the World's 100.
Next up, it's the second 20-lap heat race. On the pole, the D1 cars, Danny Eckler. Outside front row, 71, Tom Helfrich. On the inside of the second row, it's Bob Waring in the 11 car. Outside second row, F1, Mike Duvall, 1982 winner. 32X Bob Pierce will be starting in the inside of row 3. Then we have Jack Boggs in the B4X car. Steve Francis in the 15 car. D7's Jerry Inman. The 21 car of Shekel. 1J's Johnson, 63 is Hewitt, T8's Bunnell, 4X is Clark, 93's Choate, 1A's Alton, and the 9 cars Roberts, 21 is Shekel. That's a backup car, can't drive both of them, and 28's Claycomb, Sheets, and Holt. Shekel had to take one of those cars. The other car was eliminated from the race, and an alternate was in place. There's a past World 100 winner in this race, Mike Duvall, who said before he won it in 1982 out of Gaffney, South Carolina. They're picking up their paces. Danny Eckler and Tom Helfrich will set the pace. Side by side, the green flag waves, and the second heat race is underway. Into the lead, it's Tom Helfrich in the 71 car. The Hopstad Hustler. Look out, we've got a guy into the wall. That's Pierce. Pierce got bumped coming out of the 4th turn and wrapped that wall, but keeps on moving. Jack Boggs in the B4X car doing a great job of moving towards the front. Your leader is Tom Helfrich, the 71 car. Starting to stir up a little bit of dust here at Eldora today. They will do that for a while until they get some rubber laid down the speedway. As Helfrich, that Pizza Hut Spatial, continues to stretch out his lead. Denny Eckler in the D1 car. Mike Duvall in the F1 Flexi Flyer. Bob Waring moving up well in the 11 car, followed by 15, Steve Francis. Jack Hewitt in the 63 car. Hewitt made that great entrance a little while earlier. He's having trouble here today in this heat race as he's not able to get that 63 car up into contention. Bob Pearson, the 32X car, doing a great job of moving up even after he had a bout with that straightaway wall. And Tom Helfrich continues to stand on the gas and lead the second heat race. Running third, fourth, and fifth. We got a group of racers, Godsey, Francis, and Bob Pierce in the 32 car. As Tom Helfrich, Denny Eckler, and Mike Duvall continue to set the pace. The lights come on here at Eldora Speedway now as it's starting to get dark and the track will be cooling down. We look for the speeds to increase. They're racing now at speeds of nearing 105 mile per hour average around this big half-mile oval. There's the white flag for Tom Helfrich. 1 lap remains. Denny Eckler pressing Helfrich, trying to make a move into the lead. Down the back stretch, they're side by side going into the third and fourth turns. Helfrich continues to stand on the gas. He goes on and picks up a checkered flag and wins the second heat race for the World 100. Your winner was Tom Helfrich. Finishing second was Danny Eckler in the D1 car. Then we have Mike Duvall in the F1 car finishing third. Those three into the feature. Bob Waring, the 11 car, was fourth, followed by Steve Francis, 15. Bob Pearson, the 32X car, finishing sixth. Dave Johnson, the 1J car, was seventh, followed by Mark Bunnell in the T8 car. Jack Boggs in the B4X car was ninth. Then we have Jerry Inman, Doug Alt, Bobby Clark, and Eddie Scheckel. And the 14th position went to John Holt. Next up, it'll be the third 20-lap heat race. On the pole, it's Bubba James in the 10 car. Outside front row, it's John Lawhorn in the 2 car. Then we have 44 Steve Landrum, 71X Delmas Conley, 00 Freddie Smith, B4 Jack Boggs, followed by the 2 car of Allen, 88 Fitzwater, 1 Gill, 32 Pierce, 55 Herbert, 05 Honcho, 99 Johnson, 110 Horn, 007 Jenkins, 70 Barrow, 9 is Huntley, the 4 car of Osmond. They're picking up their speed now as they go down the backstretch into turn 3, heading for that white line. There's the green flag, and the third heat race is underway. John Lawhorn moves in the lead, followed by Steve Landrum. We got sparks flying off one of the cars as he's tagged the wall. And into the wall again, that's Bubba James. James hit the wall down the straightaway. Now he's stopped on the first turn as Herbert and Osmond have got into him. That brings out the yellow flag and another restart with Lawhorn and Landrum setting the pace, followed by Delmas Conley, Freddie Smith, and Jack Boggs and Loy Allen. There's the green flag, the race back underway. In the lead, it's Steve Landrum in the 44 car. Great racing tonight at Eldora Speedway. These late models are running side by side. Delmas Conley on the move in the 71 car. Jack Boggs in the B4 car. He could throw a blanket over him. And we got 2 of them spinning down in front of the camera in turn 4. The 9 car of Tom Hundley. That brings out the yellow flag. Also involved in that accident was the 7 car of Dick Barstusik. There'll be another restart now, picking up their speed, slowly coming to the white line. There's the green flag, the race back underway. And Lawhorn again moves into the lead, but Landrum pulls him down the first turn and takes over the lead, followed by Freddie Smith running in 3rd position. As Smith is pushing, here comes Delmas Conley, and Conley slides into 2nd position. A great move in turn 3. It's Steve Landrum out in front. Delmas Conley running in 2nd. Freddie Smith battling for that 3rd spot. But John Lawhorn hangs on. Lawhorn's running 3rd. Freddie Smith running in 4th position. The 3rd position in the heat race is a coveted spot to have here at Eldora tonight. That guarantees you a start in the big feature event. Bob Pearson, the 32 car. Johnny Johnson driving the 99. We have the car stopping number 4. That's Jan Osmond. That brings out another yellow flag for Osmond, who stopped in turn 2. One more time, the green flag comes out on the restart. Landrum sets the pace. Lawhorn, Pierce, Boggs, Johnson. We have a new race leader. Delmas Conley made a great move and into the lead in turn 2. We got parts flying in the straightaway. Paul Fitzdreiser in the 88 car hits the wall, loses a right rear tire, and Loy Allen does 2 360s after he blams the tire. Paul Fitzdreiser in the 88 car lost that right rear tire as he tagged the wall. Loy Allen spins his car around, and that tire flying wildly down the straightaway, luckily hit nothing and rolled to a stop. Fitzdreiser is out of the action for tonight. On the restart, Landrum, Conley. Landrum got back in the lead, reverting back a lap. Now Conley has to take over that lead one more time. The race leader, Steve Landrum. Delmas Conley running in 2nd position. John Lawhorn running in 3rd. Followed by Freddie Smith and Jack Boggs. Bob Pearson, John Johnson running 5th and 6th. Delmas Conley proved earlier he had the speed to get by Landrum. However, on that restart, he had to revert back a spot and has to do it over again one more time, if he can. Side by side down the straightaway. Conley's making his move on the bottom. Landrum running high. Side by side through the 2nd turn. What a race we've got for the lead as Steve Landrum hangs on. Delmas Conley running in 2nd position. Now Freddie Smith has moved into 3rd, and there makes the move. Conley into the lead. Delmas Conley, your new race leader, takes over the lead in turn number 1. Steve Landrum having trouble now. He's slowing down as Freddie Smith's making his move around him, and now Jack Boggs right on his tail trying to move into 3rd. They're laying down a lot of rubber on this racetrack. It's getting a little slippery. Takes a little bit more finesse driving. And Freddie Smith makes his move into 2nd. And there goes Boggs into 3rd. As Landrum drops back into 4th position. Your leader is Delmas Conley in the 71 car. And here's the white flag. 1 lap remains. Conley, your leader now. Boggs battling with the 32 car of Bob Pierce. Pierce trying to make that move into 3rd. The checkered flag falls on the 3rd heat race. Your winner is Delmas Conley, car number 71. Second went to Freddie Smith. Jack Boggs held off Bob Pierce and finished third. Pierce was fourth, followed by Johnny Johnson. 99 was fifth. Steve Landrum faded to sixth position, the 44 car. And Ed Honschild finishing in seventh in the 05, followed by Ernie Barrow in the 70 car. 110 is Dwayne Horn. Then we have John Staples, Tom Hundley, Richard Jenkins, and John Lawhorn.
Coming in second in the 00 car, Freddie Smith. Coming in third in the B4 car, Jack.
Next up at year 4, a 20-lap heat race. On the pole, it's the 0 car of Russ Petro. Outside front row, it's E1 Mike Balzano. 3 former winners in this race: Larry Moore, Jeff Purvis, and Randy Boggs. They're picking up their tempo now as they go through the 4th turn. There's the white line, the green flag, the race underway. 3 abreast down the straightaway. Let's make that 4 abreast down the straightaway. And Russ Petro gets sideways. Jeff Purvis gets into him. A couple more cars slide around, and Purvis is out of the race. The 3-time winner of the World's 100, Jeff Purvis, is out of this race. He'll have to come back to another heat race in a backup car. There'll be a complete restart. No laps were in. Past World 100s we talked about before. Jeff Purvis was one of them. He's out of the race. Larry Moore still running in the 14 car, and Randy Boggs in the 17 car, as Russ Petro and Balzano set the pace, coming down for the green flag and the restart. There's the green flag, the race again underway. Larry Moore trying to make his move on the bottom in that 14 car. Larry Moore takes over the lead going through turn number 1. Moore and Petro side by side. Russ Petro moves into the lead down the 2nd turn. Now Randy Boggs, a great piece of driving by Randy Boggs as he aborted a car that was sliding sideways in front of him. The drivers are running hard tonight at Eldora Speedway, trying to make themselves a start in the big 18th annual World's 100 and shooting for that $21,000 first place prize. It's Russ Petro out in front. Russ, a veteran of 9 years racing in the World 100s here at Eldora Speedway. Russ is out of Columbus, Indiana. Larry Moore, the 14 car, running in 2nd position. Larry, the other 3-time winner of this event. The first 3-time winner is, in fact, Larry Moore. Second 3-time winner was Jeff Purvis. He's already out of this race. And so is Larry Moore. Larry Moore has stopped running second. He stopped in the 2nd turn, and now the second 3-time winner is out of this heat race. Russ Petro, Jim Curry now running second. Randy Boggs, Mike Balzano, and Kenneth Scarry are the top 5 cars as the green flag waves on the restart. Russ Petro out in front, running second in the 7 car. It's Jim Curry. Third, it's Randy Boggs in the 17 car, followed by Kenneth Scarry in the 55, and Mike Balzano in the E1 car. The top 3 cars running very close here. Curry trying to set Petro up for a move as he seems to like the low groove. He's running side by side through the 4th turn. But Russ Petro maintains his momentum and maintains the lead. Russ Petro out in front. Jim Curry running second. Randy Boggs now running a very close third and pressing down the straightaway. He moves into 2nd position. Randy Boggs moves into 2nd. Running right up against the concrete wall coming out of the 2nd turn. Occasionally you'll see a stream of sparks flying off the tail of these late models as they drag that rear end through the concrete wall. There's the white flag. 1 lap remains. It's Russ Petro out in front. Randy Boggs running in 2nd position. Jim Curry holding on to 3rd. And Eddie Pace is in 4th position. They're coming down the 4th turn now, heading for the checkered flag. And Petro holds on for a checkered flag and a victory. A great race by Russ Petro. Second was Randy Boggs in the 17 car. Third went to Jim Curry, 7C. Fourth was Eddie Pace, 31. Then Kenneth Scarry finishing 5th in the 55 car. Gary Stuhler was 6th at 44, followed by Chuck McWilliams in a 16A car. Mike Smith, the 11 car, finished 8th, and Butch Barber finished 9th in the 26 car. And we have Greg Least, the 51 car, finishing 10th.
Those first three all bunched together. How about a nice run across the winner in the 0 car, Russ Petro. Coming in second, in car number 17, was Randy Boggs. Coming in third, in car number 7, was Jim Curry.
The cars all move into the scales and get weighed and checked out. As next up, we have the 5th heat race. 20 more cars running 15 laps with 3 cars moving on to the feature event. On the pole in the 21 car, it's Billy Moyer.
Will start outside front row.
Terry was saying whoever wins this event will begin on the outside front row here. This is a very coveted spot at Eldora Speedway.
H.E. Vineyard. In car number 7, John Pulverzelli. The 41 car from Silver, outside front row.
Setting the pace is Billy Moyer, 21. 24 on the outside is H.E. Vineyard. There's the green flag. The 5th heat race is underway. Side by side down the backstretch, H.E. Vineyard out in front in the 24 car. Billy Moyer running in second. In the 7 car running in third position, it's John Proposino, followed by Donnie Moran, Willie Kraft. We got problems in the 4th turn. Vern Lefevre's, Jeff Hauser, several cars coming together. The yellow flag waves. The 99 car is Jeff Hauser. 4 cars stopped here on the track. If they can get back underway, they'll be restarting on the tail of the lineup. It looks like the 111 car tore up the worst. That's Steve Baker. Don't believe he'll be restarting. The track is cleared. The restart ready to go now. A complete restart. The green flag waves. The race back underway. Billy Moyer in the 21 car. H.E. Vineyard. Billy Moyer in the 21 car this time took over that lead as they're running 3 and 4 abreast down the straightaway. Out in front of Billy Moyer, now 83. Willie Kraft has moved into second position. As the 24 car at Vineyard seems to be fading. Billy Moyer, the 21 car, out in front, setting the pace. Billy's out of Batesville, Arkansas. Willie Kraft in the 83 car, now running in second position. Willie's out of Lakefield, Minnesota. And John Rayson Mason in the 72 car, also out there doing a great job. Moyer has always done well here at Eldora Speedway. One of the races he does so well on is the 4-count event, held at the end of the year in October normally. A USAC event. Billy Moyer. John Gill in the 1X car. Vernon Lefevre's in the 54, and Lefevre's gets tagged and into the wall. Vernon Lefevre's in the 54 car. Got bumped down the backstretch. That brings out the yellow flag, and it brings out a red-faced Lefevre's as he talks to John Gill, says a few sweet words. The restart back underway. Billy Moyer, Willie Kraft, side by side, 1 and 2. Buck Simmons has moved into third position. Buck Simmons in the 41 car has now moved into third position. Again, that's the qualifying spot for the World's 100. Ideally, you want to win this race, and you're going to be able to start on the outside of the front row for this year's World's 100. And right now, Billy Moyer's doing his best to hold off the efforts of Willie Kraft to have that coveted outside front row starting position. There's the white flag. One more lap to go. As Billy Moyer brings you down the backstretch, he stretched out a little bit of a lead over Kraft. He goes down and picks up a checkered flag and a victory. There's your outside front row starter for the World's 100, Billy Moyer in the 21 car. Finishing second in the 83 car was Willie Kraft. Third was 41 Buck Simmons. Those three now into the World's 100. Then we have the fourth position of 72 car John Mason, 71 Delmas Conley, the sixth position with the 1X John Gill, followed by TJ Pashurt in the 10 car, and Mike Smith finished 8th in the S1 car. Then we have H.E. Vineyard, John Provenzino, and Troy Green.
Coming in second, in car number 83, was Willie Kraft. Coming in third, in car number 41, was Buck Simmons.
The sixth and final heat race. 3 more cars will be moving into the World's 100. That will give us a total of 18 cars, and we'll be taking 4 cars out of the B main, and the 2 fastest cars that do not make it through the heats will round out the field. We'll have a 24-car field. And speaking of 24, it's Dictator 24 on the pole. 15X car is Steve Francis on the outside of the front row. They're setting the pace. And we have Jeff Purvis in the 15 car on the inside row 2, and Purvis is making his move down the straightaway. Dictator out in front. Provenzino and Purvis side by side, and Purvis moves in the lead down the backstretch. Steve Francis, the 15 car, and Jeff Purvis in the 15 car, and Francis maintains that lead down the straightaway. Steve Francis, the younger racer here today, he's 20 years old, just gets overtaken by Jeff Purvis, one of the veteran drivers here when it comes to experience. He's been in the World's 100 several times. He finished second his first time out, then he won it the next 2 times in a row, or he finishes up in the top when he finishes. A top race driver out of Tennessee, Jeff Purvis, Clarksville, Tennessee, presently leading this 6th heat race. And again, the winner of this race will be starting on the pole position for the World's 100, inside front row. And the 1 car, that's the 1S car, it's Charlie Swartz. Charlie seems to be having his trouble today. If he does not qualify through the heat race, he'll have to try one more time through a B main and possibly be able to get a starting booth out of the qualification efforts, since he was a top qualifier. Great driving on Jeff Purvis's part. Look at the moves he's making down the backstretch as he works his way around the lap cars. Purvis putting a lap on the 20 car, Paul Schaefer. Into the wall, the 92 car slapped the wall down the backstretch. Doug McCure. The Eldora surface is smooth and glazed over. You can see a reflection of the cars in it as they laid down lots of rubber on this racetrack tonight. A lot of racing laps around the oval. And out in front, stretching out that lead, it's Jeff Purvis. He looks fast again this year. Could this be the 4-time win for Purvis? We're going to be finding out real soon as the World's 100 is about to get underway after a qualifying B main. There's the white flag. 1 lap remains for Jeff Purvis, and he goes on to pick up a victory. It's Jeff Purvis, your winner of the 6th heat race. He'll be starting on the pole. Finishing second was the 15 car of Steve Francis. Third went to 24 Dick Taylor. Fourth went to the 6 car of Finn Watson, and fifth went to the 96 car of Brian Asbury. Then we have Jarvis finishing 6th in the H3 car, followed by Charlie Swartz in the 1S car finishing 7th. And Swartz will have to work himself through a B main. Then we have McCann finishing 8th in the 92 car, followed by Vineyard, Karn, Joby, Anderson, Yanis, and Tim Sabo finishing 14th in the 98 car. Next up will be the B main, the last chance race, your last chance to make the 1988 World's 100.
Consy and Waring. Again, your
24 cars will be starting their B main.
turn 4. That's where they're supposed to start racing.
Ray Gotzi's on the pole. Bob Waring outside. And we have Bob Pierce in the 32 car. Eddie Page, John Mason, Gary Stuhler in the 44 car. The B main's green. Bob Waring makes a great move into the lead. 32 Bob Pierce, K1 is Ray Gotzi running in third. We got a spin. Dave Johnson's doing a loop down at turn 4. And that brings out the yellow flag.
Complete restart.
They're running hard in this race. Winning this race is effectively a guarantee of $1,000 for you because that puts you in the World 100. In fact, finishing the top 4 spots is worth $1,000 here tonight for the B main. Gotzi side by side with Waring down the backstretch. And Ray Gotzi has taken over the lead. Bob Waring, Bob Pierce running second and third. And they're still running 3 and 4 abreast through the turns tonight at Eldora Speedway. The top 3 cars, you could throw a blanket over them. Gotzi, Waring, and Pierce running 1, 2, and 3. Eddie Pace, John Mason also in close contention. Now Bob Waring's pulled alongside of Gotzi side by side. Pierce just sitting back waiting for one of them to make a mistake. And Eddie Pace also in good contention, running in 4th position. Car moving up very well from the back is the 44 car of Gary Stuhler. Stuhler is on the move as he's closing in on the top 4 cars, presently running in 5th position. Gary Stuhler, number 44. Ray Gotzi's your race leader. Pierce running second, but now Stuhler has moved into 3rd position and challenging. This 44 car seemingly come out of nowhere. He's really starting to hook up on the Eldora Oval as 96 Brian Asbury touches the wall on turn 2 and lays out some sparks. Keep in mind the top 4 positions will qualify for the World's 100. And Ray Gotzi's out in front. Bob Pierce is running second. Now we've got Gary Stuhler running in second, moving up along Ray Gotzi side by side down the straightaway. Just a few laps remain in this 15-lap B-main event. And Ray Gotzi's trying to hold back the efforts of Gary Stuhler. There's the white flag. 1 lap remains. 1 lap remains. And Gary Stuhler side by side with Ray Gotzi down the backstretch. Bob Pierce running in 3rd position. And a new race leader. Stuhler has moved into the lead. A great move by Gary Stuhler. He seemed to come out of nowhere. He's from Westminster, Maryland. He did a great job of winning this B-main event. Gary Stuhler. Finishing second was Ray Gotzi in the K1 car. 3rd place went to the 32 car Bob Pierce. And 4th place was 96 Brian Asbury. Those 4 have qualified for the World's 100. Then we have Finn Watson, Ken Serra, Eddie Pace, Johnny Johnson, Dave Johnson, Snooky Dim, John Gill, John Mason, Steve Landrum, Tim Sabo, Junior Jarvis, Barry Wright, Ernie Barrow, and Jack Hewitt driving the backup car, Mason the 15 car. Followed by Ed Honshaw, Bob Waring, and Larry Moore.